The slap echoed across the banking hall like a gunshot. My cheek burned. My eyes watered. And the entire ground floor of Pinnacle Bank, Victoria Island, customers, colleagues, security guards, stood frozen, watching Mrs. Ngozi Adelik tower over me with her hands still raised. Ashowo, she screamed. You think say because you wear suit and carry laptop, you know be prostitute. You think say I be mumu. I couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. My name is Chisom Okafor, and 5 seconds ago, I was the rising star of the accounts department, the girl who climbed from NYSC core member to assistant accounts manager in 3 years. Now, I was the girl getting slapped in front of 50 people while being called a prostitute. Security. Mrs. Adelik snapped her fingers like she owned the building. Pack this girl's things. She's fired. If she resists, call police. I will personally make sure she rots in jail for husband snatching. My legs finally remembered how to walk. Mrs. Adelik, I don't. Shut up. Another slap, harder this time. My husband confessed everything this morning. Everything. How you dey seduce am, how you dey send him naked pictures, how you even carry bell for am. The word tilted. Pregnant. For Mr. Adelik. My boss who was old enough to be my father. That's not true. My voice came out as a whisper. None of that is true. You dey call my husband liar. She grabbed my blazer, her perfectly manicured nails digging into the fabric I'd saved 3 months to buy. He showed me the messages. The pictures. He told me everything because he's a man of God who confessed his sins. Bimp, my closest colleague, tried to step forward. Madam, please, this is not. If you move 1 step, I go deal with you too. Mrs. Adelik's eyes were wild. All of una girls for this office, una dey cover for each other. But not today. Today, everybody go see who Chisom really be. She pulled out her phone, and my stomach dropped as she started playing an audio recording. My boss's voice, Mr. Adelik's voice, filled the banking hall. Yes, Ngozi. I'm sorry. It's true. Chisom and I have been involved. It started 6 months ago. She pursued me relentlessly. I tried to resist, but she was persistent. She said she was in love with me. She said she didn't care that I was married. No. No, no, no. That wasn't possible. We had never, there was nothing. You see. Mrs. Adelik's voice dripped with vindication. From his own mouth. And when I checked his phone this morning, I see I'm with my 2 koro eyes. Pictures of you. Messages of you begging him to leave me. You even tell say you dey carry his pikin. The banking hall erupted in whispers. I saw the looks, disgust, pity, judgment. Mrs. Badmus from customer service shook her head. Connor from operations whispered something to the person beside him. Even the security man who usually smiled at me looked at me like I was dead. Please, I heard myself beg, hating how small my voice sounded. Please, just let me see the messages. Let me see whatever evidence. Evidence. She laughed bitterly. You want to see? Okay now, make everybody see. She thrust her phone in my face. The messages were there. From a number saved as Chisom Okafor. Flirty messages. Explicit messages. Pictures, not fully naked, but suggestive. A woman's body in lingerie that could be anyone's body. The face was always cropped or blurred or turned away. But the number. The messages. They all said, Chisom Okafor. My hands shook as I pulled out my own phone. That's not my number. Look, this is my number. That one is not. You think say I dey stupid. Mrs. Adelik snatched my phone and flung it across the floor. The screen shattered. You probably get different phone where you dey use for your runs. You think say I never see girls like you before. Mr. Adelik himself emerged from the elevator, his face grave, avoiding my eyes. The man who mentored me. The man who told me I reminded him of his own daughter. The man who encouraged me to get my master's degree. Sir, I turned to him desperately. Sir, please. Tell her. Tell everyone. We never, nothing has ever. Chisom, his voice was cold, unfamiliar. I think it's best if you leave quietly. I've already spoken to HR. Your termination is effective immediately. We won't press charges if you go now and never contact me again. My knees buckled. Bim caught me before I hit the floor. Oga, but, Bim started. Miss Adeyemi, if you continue to defend her, I question your judgment as well. His tone was final. Make she carry her things and go, someone shouted from the watching crowd. We no want a shower for this office. Husband snatcher. Homebreaker. The voices piled on top of each other until I couldn't distinguish one from another. Security was already at my desk, shoving my belongings into a box. My certificates. My awards. My family picture. All dumped together like trash. Mrs. Adelic leaned in close, her breath hot against my damaged cheek. If I ever see you near my husband, near this bank, near anywhere I dare, I swear on my children, I go destroy you completely. You go beg for death. They escorted me out like a criminal. Past the customers staring. Past my colleagues whispering. Past the security man who wouldn't look at me. Out into the Lagos afternoon heat where I stood on the pavement of Victoria Island, holding a box of my professional life, with a swollen face and a shattered phone and absolutely no idea how my entire world had collapsed in 15 minutes. I didn't go home. Couldn't face my mother yet. Couldn't explain this. Instead, I sat in a Mr. Biggs in Lekki, using their Wi-Fi on my laptop, trying to understand. That phone number. Those messages. That audio recording. Someone had set me up. But who? And why? And how did they get Mr. Adelic to confess to something that never happened? Then I remembered Mr. Adelic's voice in that recording. It was his voice, yes, but something about it was off. The tone. The cadence. Like he was reading a script. Like he was being coached. Forced. My hands flew across my laptop keyboard. I logged into the bank's shared drive. They hadn't revoked my access yet. Stupid of them. I pulled up expense reports, travel logs, meeting schedules. If someone was setting me up, they'd need to have detailed knowledge of my interactions with Mr. Adelic. They'd need access to both our schedules. They'd need to know when we work late, when we traveled for business, when we met with clients. There were only 5 people with that level of access: HR head, the branch manager, Mr. Adelic's secretary, and 2 admin staff. I pulled up the phone records next, another system they hadn't locked me out of yet. The mysterious Chisom Okafor number that sent all those messages. I traced its registration. Registered 3 months ago. Paid for in cash at a vendor in Ikeja. But the activation location, the IP address when it first connected to the internet. My blood ran cold. It was activated inside Pinnacle Bank. On the admin floor. 3 months ago on a Tuesday at 2:17 p.m. I cross-referenced the staff attendance log. Only 3 admin staff were in the office at that time. One of them was Adoni Fashola, Mrs. Adelic's cousin. The same Adoni who had applied for my position last year and lost. The same Adoni I'd caught trying to access my client files. The same Adoni who'd been giving me strange looks for months. But that wasn't enough. I needed more. I logged into my email, my personal one, not the bank's. Scrolled back through months of messages. And there, 3 weeks ago, an email from an unknown address: be careful of who you trust at work. Some people are not who they seem. I'd ignored it as spam. Now I clicked the sender's profile. The email was sent from a cybercafe in Suralia. But attached was a low-resolution photo, probably taken from far away. It showed Adoni and a man sitting in a car outside a hotel. I couldn't see the man's face clearly, but I could see Adoni's expression: predatory, calculating. And on the dashboard of the car was a security pass. Mr. Adelik's security pass. My heart raced. I went back to the expense report. Mr. Adelik had reported his security pass stolen 2 months ago. He'd gotten a replacement. But what if it wasn't stolen? What if Adoni had taken it? What if she'd been using it to access his office after hours? I pulled up the bank's security camera access, another system I still had credentials for. The security team was lazy, they hadn't changed the default password in months. I logged in and scrolled back to 3 months ago. The day that phone was activated. There was Adoni, in the admin office, activating a phone. Then, and this made my stomach turn, she walked to Mr. Adelik's office. Used a security pass to enter. Came out 15 minutes later with his jacket. I scrolled forward. Day after day. Week after week. A pattern emerged. Adoni entering Mr. Adelik's office after hours. Taking his things. Returning them. Sometimes she'd stay inside for 30 minutes, doing God knows what. Then, 2 weeks ago, the most damning footage, Adoni in the server room, accessing the voice recording system. The same system used for customer service quality checks. The same system that could be used to splice together audio recordings from old meetings and conference calls. She'd made that confession. She'd edited together Mr. Adelik's voice from dozens of recordings until it said exactly what she needed it to say. But why would Mr. Adelik go along with it? Why would he stand there and let me be destroyed? I called Bim from the restaurant's landline. Chisom. Oh my God, where are you? I've been trying. Bimp, I need you to do something for me, and I need you to trust me completely. Of course, but... Is Mr. Adelik still in the office? Yes, but he's locked himself in his office. Nobody can reach him. Even his wife left already, she. Go to his office. Tell him you need to speak with him privately. Then ask him one question, sir, where is Tolu? Tolu. His daughter. What does she? Just ask him. Then call me back on this number. 10 minutes later, Bimp called back. Her voice was shaking. Chisom, what's going on? When I mentioned Tolu, Oga just broke down. Started crying. He said, oh my God, Chisom, he said Adoni has his daughter. The pieces clicked into place with horrible clarity. Adoni hadn't just set me up. She'd kidnapped Mr. Adelik's daughter, or knew someone who had, and blackmailed him into reading that confession, into playing along with the setup, into destroying me to save his child. Bimp, listen carefully. I need you to go to HR right now. Tell them to check Adoni's desk. Tell them to look in the bottom drawer, locked compartment. The key is taped under the desk. How do you know? I saw her hide something there on the security footage. Just trust me. 20 minutes later, my phone, still working despite the cracked screen, rang with a call from the bank's branch manager. Miss Okafor, I don't know what to say. We found, there's evidence here. A phone. Documents. Photos of the boss's daughter with today's newspaper. And a voice recorder with practice runs of the confession. Miss Okafor, I'm so sorry. Please, can you come back to the office? I was already in a taxi heading to Victoria Island. When I walked back into that bank, everything was different. The security man who'd escorted me out now held the door open with an apologetic nod. The colleagues who'd whispered were now silent, ashamed. Mrs. Adelik was back, her face streaked with tears, her earlier fury replaced with desperate fear for her daughter. And Adoni. Adoni was in Mr. Adelik's office, surrounded by bank security and 2 police officers. It wasn't supposed to go this far, she was screaming. I just wanted her gone. I just wanted the promotion I deserved. It's not fair that she gets everything when I worked here first. Where is my daughter? Mr. Adelik's voice was dangerous, quiet. She's fine. She's at my cousin's place in Oja. I was going to return her after Chisom was gone. I just needed her out of the way. I needed you to see that I was the one who deserved. You kidnapped my child, Mr. Adelik said slowly, destroyed an innocent woman's reputation, manipulated me, manipulated my wife, all because you wanted a promotion. Not just a promotion. Adoni's composure shattered completely. You. I wanted you to notice me. 5 years I've worked here. 5 years. And you never looked at me once. But her, this local girl from Ajiganal, you mentored her, praised her, gave her opportunities. What does she have that I don't? The police were already handcuffing her. Miss Fashola, you are under arrest for kidnapping, extortion, fraud, defamation. Mrs. Adelik rushed to me, grabbing my hands. Please, please, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But my daughter, do you know where? The police are already on their way to the Oja address, I said quietly. They found it in Adoni's phone records. Tolu will be home soon. She collapsed against me, sobbing. I almost destroyed you. My own family did this to you. I called you those names, I slapped you, It's okay, I said, though my cheek still throbbed. You were scared for your daughter. I understand. But I didn't fully forgive. Not yet. Maybe not ever. Mr. Adelik approached me, his eyes red. Chisom, there are no words. She sent me pictures of Tolu tied up. Said if I didn't read that script, if I didn't play along, my daughter would. His voice broke. I thought I was saving my child. Instead, I destroyed yours. My career isn't destroyed, sir, I said firmly. Because the truth came out. But it could have been. And that's something we all need to remember. The branch manager cleared his throat. Miss Okafor, on behalf of Pinnacle Bank, I apologize unreservedly. We'll issue a public statement clearing your name. We'll compensate you for emotional distress. And, we'd like you to return to work, with a promotion to senior account manager, effective immediately. I looked around the banking hall. At the people who'd called me Ashawo. At the colleagues who judged me without question. At the society that was so ready to believe a young woman must have slept her way to success. I'll consider it, I said. But first, I need everyone here to understand something. I raised my voice so the entire floor could hear me. Today, you all watched me get slapped, called a prostitute, and thrown out like trash. Most of you believed it immediately. Why? Because I'm a young woman who's successful. Because a man mentored me. Because in your minds, that's the only way a girl from Ajigono could rise. Silence. I'll come back to this bank, I continued. But when I do, I need every person here to remember this day. Remember how quickly you judged. Remember how easily lies can destroy someone. And remember that the next time you see a young woman succeeding, maybe, just maybe, she earned it through her own sweat and brilliance. 3 days later, Tolu was safely home. Adoni was in police custody facing multiple charges. Mr. Adelik had stepped down as department head due to his poor judgment in handling the situation. And me. I walked back into Pinnacle Bank with my head held high, my new title on my desk, and a lesson I'd never forget. In Lagos, a woman's success is always questioned. Her motives always suspected. Her victories always attributed to men or manipulation or worse. But that day taught me something powerful: the truth is stronger than lies, and a woman who knows her worth cannot be permanently destroyed. Mrs. Adelik and we are cordial now. She apologized publicly, and I accepted. But we both know some wounds leave scars. As for me, I'm still here. Still working hard. Still succeeding. But now I document everything, trust carefully, and never forget that in Nigeria's corporate jungle, being a successful woman means always watching your back. Because the real enemy isn't always obvious. Sometimes it's wearing a smile and walking 2 desks away, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. But me. I survived. I thrived. And I'll never apologize for my success again. No God, oh.